Good afternoon, guys. This is Sharon from House to Prayer with the second video that the Lord wants you to see. And we're going to start with Mike Flynn was the next victim. He is an American hero. They started taking Flynn down because he knew too much. The 9/11 attack, he's a lethal weapon to the power machine. He pled guilty for a phone call on an unsecured line to someone that he wasn't supposed to be talking to. Now, what are the chances? 0. It was a plan. It's absurd. He has to be put in a room because he pleaded guilty to divulge a piece of information of whatever crimes that he's involved in over his career, and every single crime that he's ever known or had any knowledge of on the whole scope of his career that is required by law. Now, they couldn't get this information put into play without him confessing to be guilty and then releasing all this information. So what does this mean? It means while he is in a room for months writing down everything about everybody, every crime he has ever seen, all of this is now admissible in a court of law. National security secrets. In the legal system, they walked right into a trap. Now he can depose everything. DOJ dismissed his charges recently due to having no case. Now we have a deep state judge, Emmett Solomon, in the District of D.C. Circuit Court that will not allow them to drop the case. He is a judge and not a prosecutor. It is unconstitutional what he is doing or what he has done. He is a deep state criminal, and why is he doing it? Because if they don't sign off on this, then Flynn can't talk. They had to do everything they had to do. They had to win at all costs because this is such a threat to their existence, all of it. Dan Coates was another player. You can look him up. People have been saying nothing is happening. But oh, you're so wrong. 30 people have been fired at the top of DOJ under number 45. 300 deep state federal judges have been replaced. They are constitutional judges. You can see this constant house cleaning of the deep state. Most resent firing of Secretary of Defense Esper, a deep state criminal. General Mattis, Mad Dog Mattis, Defense Secretary, trying to keep us fighting in Syria, keep the wars going. Too many of these have infiltrated the military industrial complex. Wanted to fight. They want wars. What did we talk about? That, it was all about the money. It is the greatest printing machine on the planet. They don't want war to go away. But number 45 hasn't started a single one. He gets us out of them. So what does Mattis do? He leaves the army embarking at 45 on the way out. When his mother died, he requested money to go to the Planned Parenthood in his mother's name instead of receiving flowers. Do your own homework into this. Look at Christopher Wray, a deep state puppet. They are everywhere. Washington, D.C., the Vatican, the British monarch, the multinational corruption, big tech, shutting down the Twitter accounts, YouTube shutting down multiple accounts. The media is controlled by the clowns of America. Think what happened on 11/3. Why the shutdown of all the states and countries of the world? Why the jabs? We now know 45 had 49 states. New York was the holdout. California was 63% for 45. What is every nation looking at? What happened on 11/3 and what we are going to do about it? Because if we go down, everybody goes down. This is about good versus evil. This is the war you need to get into. We are being punished because we did nothing. We refused to hold the criminals accountable. We gave our country away while we did nothing. 70% in Washington, D.C. are bad. What are we learning about? Dominion voting systems was designed to switch the votes. Hammer Project from 2003, software designed to keep terrorists out of this country. Brennan Comey stole it and refashioned it for votes. Scorecard platform, same reason. Here's what the cabal didn't know about the quantum financial banking system that was coming into play. Theft on every level was being reined in. Paper for every ballot that states create was marked with a non-radioactive isotope. Watermarks, which means that they can GPS every one of the ballots anywhere over the planet. They have been watching this play out, throwing them away, burning them, multiplying them. They have it all now. They have proof of everything. These people will be buried. Patriots are in full control. You have nothing to worry about. God put this in play. This is God's war against good versus evil. God tells us to prepare for more to come. I've been telling you to stock up. God's been repeating this over and over, and I have continued to tell you to stock up for weeks, for months at a time. We have 190,000 sealed indictments ready to go, right down to the satanic ritual abuse, the torture, and the murder of the children that goes on at the highest levels of Washington, Democrats and Republicans. Hollywood, big tech, monarchies, the Vatican is the largest organization on the planet. This may shock you, but I doubt it because I've told you before. Not many will say these things out loud to tell you exactly what these things are happening in the world. Too many bury their heads in the sand. We don't have time for that anymore. Right now is the time to start acting. It's showtime. What do you need to do? Get into the fight. Whenever there might be some people that are gathered for support of 45, you need to talk to your friends. You need to have a voice. We nearly lost the country, and the New World Order was at the door. People are too afraid to offend their coworkers, your friends, being politically correct. You need to wake up people. Some will need a sledgehammer. What is happening right now is the Great Awakening. Black Americans have doubled their support for this man. Hispanic communities, same thing. The world is waking up. It had to be this way because you can't tell people the truth. You must show them. Now you're seeing this with your own eyes. You're watching this insanity from this enterprise called the Democratic Party and the rhinos that will do anything at all costs because they have to get rid of this man. They are the bad guys, and they will be buried. Why do you think that 45 upgraded Gitmo by 200 million for nothing? He even put a handicap ramp in. Who do we know that use a wheelchair all the time? You know, the same one that we watched that fake funeral. So much has been happening under the radar, and you have no clue of what's going on. When you see what has been stolen from us, what is coming to this planet, and has been ripped off from the forces, the bad and evil forces, they're ripped off. Every taxpayer, it's going to blow your mind. You are at the dawn of a new age that is about to be unleashed, unlike you've never imagined. Think about Psalms 91 that I tell you about constantly. Stand your ground. Draw a line in the sand. I'm going to leave you a link to a song about this. Enjoy the show. They are cornered. Then the modern day Sodom and Gomorrah will be pulled down.